Welcome back to Let's Play the Punisher.
We have a return.
We are heading to an industrial area for the first time.
The Nucci's and Russian mercs are both controlled by the Kingpin. Fisk has a lot of explaining to do. I'm going to arrange a meeting. The hard way.
Probably the only way the Punisher's getting a meeting with the Kingpin.
You set off that nuke? The official story is that it was a planned French test on an uninhabited island.
It's uninhabited now.
And Nick Fury helped you detonate the device? Colonel Nick Fury?
No, he was unconscious. Krugkov activated the missile. I made sure it stayed on the island.
So, you guessed that both the Nucci's and Russians were part of Wilson Fisk's criminal empire?
Alleged criminal empire.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Anyway, you connected the bloodstains and concluded he was behind all this. After all, who else could be controlling the Nucci's and Russians, dealing drugs, weapons, and slaves? Who but the kingpin of crime?
Alleged kingpin of crime, Soap.
So, you decided to pay Fisk a visit.
A bit of subtle character building on Soap there.
Alleged character building. And considering this place is named after Fisk himself, would that make this an alleged character building?
I believe so.
Or is that just a pun too far?
I'm willing to allow it. I've gotten away with worse.
This building is closed. You need to leave.
I'm all ears.
Off to a good start.
Yep.
Now.
What do you think you're doing, asshole? I'm not gonna squeal. I was just following orders.
Think for yourself.
Keep shooting while I'm reloading. I'll get help.
That interrogation there was from Punisher Born.
That one comes up a lot, actually. Wasn't written by Ennis, was it?
Yes, it was.
Ah, that explains it.
Yeah. It came out round about the time he was doing his big stint on Max and Marvel Knights Punisher. So it was basically him. So he always likes doing war stories, and they basically said, "Do you want to do a Vietnam story?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Oh, remember how you hated the machine pistols?
Yeah, I noticed you've got drum mags on them now.
Yeah, we got a bit of an upgrade for them. Now they are arguably the best sidearm, at least when accuracy is not essential.
Yeah, if you're just wanting to spray and pray, then upgraded magazines on the machine pistols is the way to go.
Yeah, it's insane. They more than triple the capacity.
Yep. And I can't remember the way it works. Is it that you get X number of full reloads? Like the way the ammo refill system works?
I want to say you get the same amount of ammo, whether or not you have the upgraded clips or not.
Yeah.
So I think we don't get any extra ammo.
Yeah, because I couldn't
We don't
remember.
get 4 times as much ammo.
Yeah, I couldn't remember whether it was, you get like a maximum of X hundred bullets, or it's just X number of reloads. So if it was reloads, then you just wind up drowning in ammo.
Yeah. That guy was like a pesky fly. Kept shouting at me from across the room. Couldn't let that stand.
Well and truly swatted there.
But yeah, I want to say the upgrades are originally, they are based on your original ammo, and then when you get the upgrades, they don't increase it any further.
Right.
Because that would just be broken.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be a real shame. Because you'd wind up with like 600-700 rounds by the end of the game.
It's already one of the best upgrades, getting the magazine capacity upgraded. Because it's pretty cheap. I think it was 80k.
Something like that.
Should have got it sooner.
If you're going on a regular playthrough, the increased ammo capacity, both extended mags and just general upgrades, they're probably one of the first things you should get.
Yeah, they encourage you to because they're both very cheap.
Yeah. I mean, extra health in slaughter mode is nice, but
I'm new around.
the whole point is not to get hit in the first place, you know?
Yeah, they're pretty much essential on hard mode, which we're playing. But on lesser difficulties, you definitely want to go for the ammo.
Costing the Kingpin big time. Oh!
So, shame that you can't use the steam vents in this area.
Nay.
Again, kind of a missed opportunity.
Yep. No special interrogations whatsoever. There's kind of a neat set piece here as well, so could have taken advantage.
Yeah. I mean, they let you use a hydroelectric dam on someone.
Daredevil never killed us.
Daredevil didn't do a lot of things, baby.
Yeah. Now, those are the turrets, the little set piece I was talking about. And what's going to save us from them is the leap of all things. That's not 100% guaranteed to work, but most of the time it'll get you through safe.
Yeah, the leap finally comes in useful. That's
Yours, asshole.
kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah. If you don't use it, you just get hacked apart by those turrets. It's like having two of the chain guns in the last level just pointing
Yeah.
at you at the same time.
And using a human shield
Code is 217.
just rips you to shreds.
Yeah. Shield gets eaten in moments.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you'd throw him in front.
But they're off.
Ah, lame.
Yeah.
Wasted opportunity there.
Yep. No way to have your cake and eat it too there.
Thought you'd never get here, Castle. Looking for someone.
Where's Kingpin, Bullseye?
The big guy can't see you now, Castle, but I've made room for you in my schedule.
Get out of the way.
Or what? You'll scowl me to death? I don't miss, you know. Too bad you can't say the same.
Hard to miss a guy with a target on his forehead.
Cutscene would have made more sense without the widescreen cropping they did.
Yeah. So, Bullseye, played there by Steve Bloom.
Yep. Possibly the second worst casting in the game.
Because someone always says, "Is that Steve Bloom?" in
Of
pretty much every thread with voice acting in it. This one's based on the movie version. Comic version of Bullseye doesn't have a big target on his forehead. Professional assassin. Never misses, as he says, even though he did plenty of times
Missed
there.
a ton of times.
For a long time, people weren't sure whether it was like he was actually a mutant, and his superpower was never missing. But no, he's just a regular guy who's got an incredibly good aim. Played baseball for a while. Found it really boring because he was essentially a perfect pitcher until he kind of, sort of, accidentally on purpose killed a guy. Kind of went downhill from there.
Gotta bust out our murder hoses again.
And one of my favorite guns in the game.
Yes, this one's excellent. Reminds me of the RCP-90 from GoldenEye.
Yeah, well, it was based on the what you call it, that gun. The name of which I've conveniently forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a shameful day.
I always assumed it was fake.
No, it was vaguely based on it. Although I'm sure some gun nerd in the thread's going to correct me.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous, but apparently the design absorbs all of the muzzle rise,
Yep.
which is very useful when you're trying to snipe with it.
Yeah, the bullpup design is specifically for that.
Yours, Punisher. The Kingpin will kill me. Let me go and I'll call.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna show it off.
Ah.
This is a very dumb one, though.
We killed the Punisher. Body's in Sector H Alpha.
Then we're just gonna cook him again. Not this guy's day. I once killed him in the middle of him telling them that the Punisher was dead. And the same thing still happened. It still prevented this ambush from happening.
Hey, the Punisher's dead! Ah!
Guys, sounds like the Punisher's dead. Let's go home.
Well, sounds legit to me.
Doing, asshole.
Watch this guy's face after the flashback.
I just had a baby.
Same face as Frank's dead daughter.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. Probably why he killed him.
No, because that would be like he was killing his daughter all over again.
That's right. Canonically, Frank killed his daughter.
Well, he was the one that suggested they go to the park that day.
That's true.
Hey, let's go to Central Park in the 70s. I'm sure nothing bad will happen there.
Yeah, jeez. He's got as much blood as on his hands as anyone.
Be sure to pack all those extra organs in your nice soft torsos. Wait, that's getting a bit Invader Zim. Never mind.
Guy was firing at nothing. But we got to go all Rambo on him, which is always fun. Now, if you haven't noticed, the guys with the jackets are virtually immune to bullets. You gotta headshot them. Just look at that.
This is where the enemies start getting really annoying.
Yeah, they basically doubled the immunity of the heavily armored Russian mercenaries. And by the end of this level, they're going to double it again.
Yep.
It's insane. That's why you gotta get really, really good at headshots.
How the hell should I know?
Extreme piercing.
Kingpin doesn't tell me anything.
Spacker Dave would be proud.
Kingpin hired him for protection. He's got some special kind of armor.
That was target practice.
Stick around.
Hey, Frankie.
Oh, wait.
About time you got here.
And the return of Bullseye.
He's not going away anytime soon.
Now, what you're going to notice about this is that it's very, very reminiscent of Eddie Nucci.
Yeah, except this time you can actually take some damage.
Yeah, it's less annoying than Eddie Nucci, but by a slim enough margin that I don't care.
On the plus side, you're not getting wave upon wave of similar looking mooks after you.
Mm-hmm. But then there's nothing to do while you're chasing the guy around. Back with Eddie Nucci, you could slice a throat while you're chasing him around.
Yeah. Mainly for laughs.
Yeah, exactly. But here it's just find him, wait for him to stop.
Yeah. One of the
Shoot him in
annoying,
the face.
one of the not exactly annoying but disappointing things is that most of his attacks are just straight. He throws several things at you, whereas the real, I was gonna say the real Bullseye, but in the comics at least, he would be ricocheting stuff off the walls. You know?
Yeah, which this place is custom made for, really.
Pretty much. I mean, he should, by all rights, he should be firing things through impossibly tiny gaps and still managing to take off a third of your health.
Yeah.
Would have been frustrating as hell, but also would have been a lot cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Batman games do a much, much better job of depicting Bullseye.
Yeah, because in essence, it would have been a Batman game because you would have to be using the environment against him.
Yeah.
While he's trying to do the same thing. Really, the Mr. Freeze fight, I should say, in Arkham City is probably closer to what a proper Bullseye fight should have been.
Now, this one is not to be underestimated by any means.
Oh no.
His individual knives can be pretty weak, despite what he just said. But when he gets close, they do exponentially more damage. So that one would have done relatively little, but we're going to see later one that does just obscene damage.
Over here.
First, we got to chase him around for a long time, though.
Yeah.
Really hard to hit him with grenades, which is the most effective method.
I mean, it is cool to see Bullseye, because him and the Punisher. I mean, Bullseye has a lot of back history with the Kingpin. He's worked as one of his major enforcers over the years, along with characters like Elektra and Typhoid Mary. But he doesn't have much crossover with the Punisher himself. if only because, well, Punisher tends to kill guys that annoy him. He does show up in the follow-up series to Ennis's Punisher Max run, which is called Punisher Max, for extra confusion.
Oh, and right here, I'm about to get destroyed by a knife. Half my health gone in one hit.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get caught in a loop where he will stand right next to you and chuck knives for a while, and they become really hard to dodge. Very, very dangerous. And he's off, but you can keep covering him, because there's nothing interesting in the next area.
Yep. But yeah, he does show up in the as I said, the follow-up, which deals with sort of like the Punisher Max version of the Kingpin, who starts off as a nobody and becomes the Kingpin of crime. And in that, he tries to get into the mind of Frank Castle by kidnapping random families, killing the fathers, and basically forcing the wife and the kids to go through the same thing that would have created him, with Bullseye playing the part of Frank Castle. Ends up in a lot of dead families, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Um,
So how crazy is Bullseye? Because that idea doesn't make any sense from the ground up.
that version is absolutely batshit fucking loco. You know, the regular one is psychotic, but very, very smart. The Punisher Max version, on the other hand, is just 10 tons of crazy in a £5 bag. You know, he finds... Oh dear, you shouldn't have said that, should you?
Well, he gave us such useful information. We gotta reward him.
Saw it coming.
Yep. Listen to all his falling.
God, it's like Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Jesus.
That's a very, very stupid interrogation. It's only here to refill your health after the Bullseye fight.
And you need it.
Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, all the special interrogations in this area are basically just to refill your health in strategic points.
It's good that they do that, although they kind of forget to do it as often in the later levels.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the one time they really nail it.
Yeah. Back to Bullseye. What was I saying again? Yeah. The Punisher Max version basically starts wearing his discarded clothes, sleeping in old hideouts of his to try and get into his head, and does it remarkably well. He's, ignoring the fact that it's by a different writer, he's basically the only character in any Max series who manages to unnerve Frank to the point that he almost breaks him. He really does start understanding him, and it's not as the story arc as a whole isn't as good as Garth Ennis's run, but it's good in a completely different way. It's a lot more psychological.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's always interesting when they get into the psychology of Frank Castle, because it's a mess.
Oh, definitely.
3 strikes and you're out, Frankie.
And here he is again, because he just will not go down.
Yep. It's a recurring pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's at this point that you'll start thinking, yes, he has very much outstayed his welcome.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying that he legitimately is immune to body shots, so you just gotta go through a cycle of getting him in the head over and over again.
Yeah. You would not be forgiven for wanting to just get the guy over and done with.
Yeah, this one goes a lot smoother because the grenades actually knock him down.
Yeah, smaller environment as well.
Yep. And we've got a full slaughter gauge.
Also kind of disappointed that he's pulling out a gun, because the Bullseye in the comics very rarely, if ever, uses guns. He'll use sniper rifles and such.
Yeah.
But if he's using guns, it's usually to pull off, like, impossible trick shots.
Yep. She doesn't do here.
Yeah, so him just pulling out a 9mm and blazing away just seems really out of character.
Yeah, it's pretty lame, but it is one of his more deadly things to do because he is much, much more accurate with it than the knives.
Well, it did take out a fifth of your health with one shot there.
Yeah.
Hey, he's making the same face as Frank's daughter.
True.
Too soon.
Too bad we didn't get him with the knives, because it's fun to see a knife sticking out of his Charlie Manson thing. Oh no, ghosts.
Dormammu?
So, Bullseye failed me again.
Worf?
Tossed him out the window.
You're planning the same fate for me?
No, you would have to roll.
You think I'm behind these attempts on your life?
And you're not. Well, that's a relief.
You've been duped. Someone is using you to weaken me. He or she pointed you at my Nucci and Russian organizations, and you've obediently taken them out.
You're just mad because you have to post more help wanted ads in the papers.
I must deal with this attack. We have a common enemy. It is in both our interests to find him and eliminate him.
Quite a dispassionate performance there as well.
Kingpin. Generally considered one of the more interesting characters in the street level Marvel.
What are they doing here?
Yeah, he's practically super powered.
That's pure muscle. Everyone thinks that he's, your stereotypical fat bastard, but the guy's like 300 pounds of pure steel.
I'd call it much more than 300.
Hmm.
Now this closet here gave us ammo for a gun that is not in this level. So we're screwed for ammo.
Yeah, this is when you start having to be much more conservative with your shots.
And unfortunately, the Yakuza take about twice as much damage as even the Fisk soldiers did. So it's hard. Boy, is it hard.
They're basically wearing very gaudy armored jumpsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not jumpsuits, but it's not like you'll be able to...
They're like zoot suits.
Yeah! Speaking of which, zoot suits really need to make a comeback.
Someday.
Oh yeah, this is Kingpin's private gym, and that's what he uses for warm-ups.
Mm-hmm.
He is very scary. Very underrated in terms of combat, because he can break you, like Bane in the Batman.
Oh yeah.
Again, street level guy. Never been able to... Well, it kind of varies, but by and large they're unable to make most of the charges stick, because he keeps his hands so clean and manages to distance himself from his extra legal operations.
Yeah, seems like it does a good job. Hence the whole allegedly thing in the opening cutscene.
Exactly. He's very on top of his PR. Make sure that he has lots of donations to public bodies of interest, blah blah blah. Usually it's his operations tend to fall foul of Frank Castle. Although the pair of them have come up against each other on occasion. Although, again, as with Bullseye, it's not something that happens too often.
They're practically working together here.
Again,
which I can't imagine happens too often.
Definitely not, no. If they ever actually met in the comics, in a situation like this, he would just cap him and be on his way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Frank's moral code pretty much, negates any possibility of working with the Kingpin in any capacity.
Yeah. Unless they were, unless it was like one of those, right, we're both trapped in a dungeon, how are we going to get out kind of things, in which case he'd probably still let him die because, okay, Frank's dying as well, but on the plus side he's taking out the Kingpin. Lesser of two evils. Also, it looked like you just handed that guy his gun. Just the way the gun vanished when you were reloading and the way he ran off.
Yeah, I probably accidentally disarmed him as well.
I will have you killed for this. Kill me if you... Jigsaw has not been seen today. Rumors swirl.
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Haven't we heard that name before?
Yeah, he's the guy who would put Frank and Wilson Fisk in a situation where they're like in a dungeon and they have to work together to solve it, I guess.
No, I'm pretty sure that was gay fanfic.
That's what I was writing. Okay.
He's like, give me a hand, and Kingpin completely misreads the situation and it just gets weird. Kingpin's like, oh come on, we've only been here 20 minutes, give it 3 weeks at least.
Now, this lobby area is a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's a war zone. And for some reason, most of the time, everyone just goes straight for you.
Yeah.
The only way to survive is to take advantage of infighting.
Yeah. The second anyone sees you, they drop everything and they start going for you.
Yeah.
Except for that guy who got distracted.
Those ninjas we saw, those guys are double bulletproof, so
Yeah.
all headshots with them.
Basically like super upgraded versions of the guys in EOD armor from the last couple of levels.
Yep. Threw down the C4 there.
And then suddenly there's a timer.
Yep. A very, very long timer, all things considered.
I think the first time I was... Because this area took me ages to get through. First time I actually managed to get it through it properly, I just made a beeline for the turret and mulched everything.
Yeah, it's rough. But we're free.
Yes.
We can get out of this hellhole.
Eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Hellholes are Frank's bread and butter. So we're gonna clean this place.
Really, by the time he's finished, it's more of a charnel house. An abattoir, maybe.
No kidding.
Thankfully, knives solve everything.
Yes, indeed. Although throwing knives, the Yakuza now take 4 thrown knives to kill.
Yeah, which is why you really want to start closing the distance.
Yeah, it's useless to throw knives at anyone at this point.
Yeah.
Except, of course, the ninjas, who, even though they're completely bulletproof, only take 2 knives to kill.
Yeah. After a while, you just basically say, fuck's trying to kill anything from a distance, get up and just shank him.
Yeah. Although on hard mode, you gotta master headshots.
Mm-hmm.
They're your only choice.
Just like Counter-Strike. Except there's not some 12-year-old calling you a fag from a
I'm new
distance.
around here. Fill me in.
I defy you, Punisher. I will not speak.
The way that the helmet pops up never stops being funny.
It's a delight.
Jigsaw will kill you when you meet, and I will help him. Ah!
Did he have an armored skull?
Sounded like it. Maybe they're part robot.
Ah, crap. Cyborgs!
Cyborg ninjas, eh?
It's Bushwhacker all over again. Bushwhacker and Bullseye had kids, and no, wait, that's that fanfic I'm thinking of again.
We might have just ruined the thread.
Now I've already got all the gun nuts angry at me for misusing gun terminology.
Sit down. Hurry up.
Nice disguise. Subtle. Inconspicuous.
Yeah, it might be funny to you, but I'm dead if they find out I talked to you.
So tell me something worth dying for.
Kingpin was telling the truth. He's not behind any of this. It's Jigsaw.
I left my scorecard at home. Who's Jigsaw?
I don't know. All I know is that his face is damaged somehow. Like, it's all cut up. That's why the nickname. There's a Yakuza gang, the Eternal Sun, moving in on the Nucci and Mercs operation you'd cleaned out.
And?
Guy named Takagi heads the gang, but Jigsaw's become his lieutenant somehow. He's leading the strikes on the other gang's territories.
Find out who Jigsaw is and where he'll strike next.
I can't dig any more. They'll find out.
Do it. I need to know.
And that's soap if you couldn't see through his brilliant disguise.
Really? Shit.
Yes, indeed. The shocking reveal.
So, Fisk told you he wasn't behind it.
You believed Mr. Fisk?
Of course you did. You were...
Hold it right there. Anything my client has said without his attorney present is inadmissible. Mr. Castle, don't say another word.
Too late, Murdoch. Go home.
Mr. Castle, as your attorney, I strongly...
I don't need a lawyer. You're fired.
Mr. Castle, this is very ill-advised...
Objection noted and overruled.
I think it's Bullseye in a wig.
Sounds like him.
Well, nice of him to stop by. Where were we?
We were talking about the Kingpin claiming Frank had been duped.
Did you believe Mr. Fisk's claims?
The fat guy seemed sincere.
So you now believe that someone manipulated you into attacking Fisk's business associates. For what purpose?
To weaken Fisk's criminal empire, alleged criminal empire, and make it ripe for a takeover.
And you believe this Jigsaw guy and a Yakuza gang called the Eternal Sun were responsible?
And you thought you'd keep them from moving in on Old Nucci operations.
Guess that's our next step.
Yeah, with a conspiracy like that, I think we're just some lizardmen and Illuminati short of a full house.
They dumped quite a bit on us there at the end.
Yep.
It's a setup for the last third of the game, which I think is the most interesting, but by far the most difficult.
It looks like a toy, but this gun can punch a hole through 48 layers of Kevlar from 200 yards out. There's almost no muzzle rise, so staying on target is easy.
P90 and the gun above it are probably my two favourite weapons in the game. Well, no, two of my three favourites. I forgot another one.
It's so hard to choose. It's like picking a favorite child.
Oh, I can do that easily.
Those are some badass accountants. That's got to be from Welcome Back, Frank, I think.
Yep.
Knew I recognized it.
Yeah, you can tell because of the classic Steve Dillon art style.
Yeah.
Very distinctive.
And we got some Yakuza soldiers now on our hit list.
Yep, guy dressing like he's auditioning for My Chemical Romance.
Yep. Hey, he doesn't even get a name. Takagi gets a name. And we're not going to look at the guy in the corner because it's a spoiler. But good old Lou's still here.
Hey!
Yeah, Lou. And we finally have access to his meatpacking plant. But first, Pier 74.
Again.
Yep. It's the only time they reuse a level. They do it really well, but even still, it's a rehash.
Yeah, I
Not
think...
gonna make excuses.
Isn't it that you're basically taking it from the other side?
Yeah, it's reversed.
Yeah.
But we'll see it in full detail next time.